Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman.
I'm David Bernard Houck.
I'm Maddy Grace Webbin.
And today we are joined by our guest host that we'll have for the entirety of this next game. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello. Long-time silent protagonist, first-time speaker. My name's Anthony. I'm in the Discord as Dukar8. I'm excited to be talking about Suikoden II, but very bummed that we're not playing Wild Arms, which I very much love as well and voted for.
Yeah. I'm glad we're playing this one. I am much more familiar with Wild Arms than I am with this game, so I'm glad we're playing this one. Wild Arms does rule, though.
Yeah. Also, notice how I said that Anthony was our guest host, and I did not say that Bernard was. Round of applause for Bernard. He has accepted the position of Sailor Eli and will be our third host moving forward. Welcome to the podcast, Bernard.
Hi. Thanks for having me. I gotta play 3 games for these various podcasts under this podcasting umbrella.
Yeah, any of y'all who are familiar are probably familiar with Bernard, unless you haven't listened to any of the spin-off, any of the alternate series, and also haven't listened to any of the main ones where he was like a guest for like one episode.
Yeah. As someone in the Discord said, Bernard has basically been a 4th host this last year, and now he is officially a 3rd host. So, welcome, Bernard.
I'm coming for that number 2 spot, though.
Yeah. Just
he's gonna do me like they did Hoffa.
Just gotta force Maddy to take another vacation for her 2nd time in the history of the podcast. But yeah, today we will be playing the first chunk because we're finally playing a game without chapters or like discrete levels for the first time in quite a long time.
Kicking it old school again.
Yeah, so as is traditional with games with a vague stopping point, Anthony didn't play all of it, so we're going to spoil the next 30 minutes of gameplay for him. Yeah, who would have thought that when I was like, oh, when the town gets burnt down would be an ambiguous stopping point.
I actually didn't... Go ahead.
Oh, no, there's 4 towns to get burned down. I missed one. 2 of them, sorry. 2 of them. Yeah.
I actually didn't play at all because I decided I wanted to play Suikoden 1 first because I want to have that perspective. But I am only like 3/4 of the way through it. But I didn't want to start Suikoden 2 because I want to import my Suikoden 1 save. Yeah. So I watched a Let's Play on YouTube.
You'll probably catch up. You seem like you've been blasting through it, so you'll probably catch up.
Oh, yeah. It's the only reason I didn't finish is because I had bad brain for a long time. My brain is still pretty bad, but, so it goes.
Speaking of bad brain, are we ready to say how's everyone's week?
Yeah, how was everyone's week?
Bad brain.
I've had bad brain. That's why it reminded me. First of all, happy 2022 to everyone. Some of y'all have recorded episodes in this year, but I haven't. So happy New Year to everybody.
No, this is the first episode of 2022. We did a New Year's Day special, but that was on Twitch. It wasn't an episode.
Right. Yeah, I've been gone for a hot minute because we finished FF13 a while ago, and I was on hiatus for the other game we were doing. So yeah, I'm back, and I had a lovely holiday. It was really great. I went up to Seattle and visited my fam, and then my girlfriend's fam came and visited us, and blah 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 blah. Some presents, some holiday cheer, but the bad news is that my brain crashed so hard into holiday brain that it took me a very long time to emerge from my little cave. So like starting like New Year's, starting like January 2nd, I was like, all right, back to work. That was fun, but now it's time to, go back to being a busy little beaver and doing all these things. And I got some phone calls and some meetings, and then my brain was just like, no, nah, bro, we're still on vacation, bro. We're not doing that. It's not gonna happen. We're just gonna play video games, or do nothing, because it's like, I can't play video games. That's not productive. I need to do actual important things. So instead, I just sit there on my couch, on my bed, saying I gotta do stuff and not doing stuff. Y'all know how it is.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to be so productive today after I finish this one TikTok or one tweet. And
exactly. I've finally gotten to the point where this week I had a couple of things that I did this week that I feel pretty good about being productive, and like, it was more than 0, less than the amount that I like to do in my normal busy beaver life. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm slowly emerging from my slumber. Also, I decided to play Halo Infinite because it's free on Xbox Live Arcade. And it fucking rules. A good job.
It's free on XBlig.
Yeah, on Live Indie Games. Good job. I can nerd out more about it later. Also, I haven't beaten it, but good job to 343 for making a good Halo game, because the jury was out for a while there. So very, very fun. I'm a huge Halo fan ever since like I was a little kid. So playing a Halo game that is actually really good was just like a warm, snuggly little blanket that was like, I put it on because it was cold and it was holiday season. So I just put on my warm little blanket and shot aliens. It was great. Anyway, I also had some exciting life news, but I'll wait till next week to tell y'all, because it'll be just as exciting next week as it is this week. What about the rest of you all?
I had a great little holiday season, and I don't remember anything that happened on it because my brain is still in holiday mode. I like at work. I should have done a bunch of things weeks ago, and what I have done is organized all of my PlayStation 2 ROMs into CHD format on my server. So that's what I've done instead of anything productive. But my brother did come over this weekend, and he got to see the snow and all of that jazz, and it was a lot of fun.
Snow though? It apparently doesn't actually snow as often as I thought in Seattle, but it did snow. We were there Friday through Monday, and it actually did snow Saturday night, Sunday morning. I haven't seen snow in like 4 years. It was awesome. Snow's great. Do you still think snow's great, Sam, or have you gotten to the point where it's enough of a pain in the ass in your life that you hate it now?
I will never hate it. I think 30 years in Texas was enough to make me, because
snow is magical and beautiful, and that's what happens when you live in Texas for 27 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think snow is pretty great, and I lived through the Texas snow happening.
Oh, God, you did.
Where snow happened in Texas, and it was a really bad week or so. I forget how long things were bad exactly, but it was a bad, prolonged time.
Yeah. But this year I'm actually mad because it didn't snow enough. Like we're coming out of the coldest part of the year now, and it's like we got maybe 3 or 4 more snows, and today it was like 40 degrees and raining, so most of the snow we did have is all gone, and it's like I wanted a winter wonderland, and they took it from me this year. Everyone else is like, thank God there's not a lot of snow this year. We can actually go and do stuff. And I'm like, no, I want to be snowed in where I can't fucking open my door.
I shoveled snow for the first time ever this year when I was in Seattle. We had to do some snow shoveling, and I was like, so that's what this is.
Yeah.
What they should do, the government should change the weather so that we're all snowed in, and then we can't go out and infect each other with COVID.
And can't get evicted, technically.
Yeah. Can't get evicted if the door is barred by snow.
Yeah.
That's a part of holiday cheer.
Did you ask about me?
Yeah, what about you?
I had a pretty okay holiday. My brain stopped working Like, I have to take several prescription medications for my brain to work, and I couldn't get them at the end of last year because I had terrible health insurance. Now I have new health insurance through my new employer, so I was able to get them. So now I'm getting back on them and hoping they'll work again. And also just a lot of other stuff has been happening that's just messing with my brain, and I'm perpetually stuck in idiot mode. Like, things are happening, like I keep mixing up left and right today, where that's normally not a thing for me. I'm like, I tweeted earlier today, it would be great if I was also becoming hotter and just transforming into a himbo, but I think I'm just getting stupider. And this is happening during the Wordle craze.
I don't know. I think that you've already got a very solid himbo aesthetic down. It's just that I never really thought about it before because you're too smart. So I think you're going in that direction. Also, holy cow, are we all wordling?
Hell yeah, we're wordling.
Anthony, are you wordling?
Sure. I don't know what that is. What is that?
It's the hot new game that you can play.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What was your score today? Today I kicked
Today was
everyone's
fucking
butt.
hard. I was 5.
very hard.
I was 4.
It was my first ever 5. I've been rocking a single 2, a bunch of 3s, and a bunch of 4s, and I finally got a 5, and I was so sad. What was yours, Sam?
I think I got a 4.
Right, well, that's really good for today.
Yeah. I slaved over
my girlfriend got a 4.
I remember getting like I got like green, black, green, and I was like,
oh, that's fucking lucky.
No words have this. So because it was so hard to figure that out, I then didn't waste turns because like I couldn't.
Right, you just sat there and thought about it. Yeah. Anthony, I think instead of explaining what Wordle, no one can be told what Wordle is. You have to see it for yourself. It's just a fun little word game everyone's playing. You can just Google it later. But I will say, for context, your score you have to win in 6 turns. So your score is either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or X because you lost. I've never gotten X. That seems like that's silly. The game's not that hard. Yeah, so
you're just a pro gamer.
Yesterday's word, query, because I can say yesterday.
Query was a few days ago.
Well, whatever day it was,
I was
query.
really proud of getting that one in 4. I had to think real hard about it.
Yeah, Summer failed that one. That was the first fail in my Wordle group.
I have noticed I'm like better than most people on Twitter at it.
Yeah, being in idiot mode during the Wordle craze is difficult.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a fun game, and you should also play it. Jump on the bandwagon. It's just a simple little game that you play every day, and then you post your score, and everyone looks at your score and thinks that you're smart or stupid or medium.
Finally, medium.
Someone on Twitter pointed out that the reason it's so great and the reason that the monetized ripoffs are not going to be as successful and stuff is because, yes, it's an engaging game, but more it's just like everyone is doing a little thing together every day.
No, the fact,
and that's really nice.
Yeah, the app versions that are like pay money to unlock infinite play. That it's like no, the point is that everyone has the same level every day. That's what makes it good. Also, frankly, I gotta say, the concept of the game very simple. A lot of people could have thought of it. However,
I mean, it's been done before a lot of times, the basic concept.
Right. However, the thing that I think probably required some real ass, you're a goddamn game designer juice, was the nature of the social media interaction. Basically, Thomas, I'm sorry, Anthony. The way the game works, I'm not going to do the mechanics. I just don't feel like explaining it. It's a few too many words. But they found out a way to show your progress, to post how you did on Twitter without spoiling the solution. So you can like see you can see how someone did that day, including like a pretty detailed breakdown of like how their play went without actually getting spoiled on what the word is. So it's really clever seeing every day at a certain time. I see everyone I follow on Twitter, just everyone's posting their shit, right? And it's like, oh, okay. Ooh, this guy had a tough time with it. Or, oh man, that person was really lucky. Their first guess was so good. Ugh, so jealous of them. So that required some actual goddamn game design juice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
also,
the other day,
your sister-in-law got a score of 1 at one point.
No, I think it was 2. Oh no, you're right. It was 1. Yeah, because her baby she's the fucking Kwisatz Haderach, and her baby is a psychic baby that gave her the answer in a dream. Actually, she shared a drink. She shared a message with me privately that she couldn't post because it would have spoiled the word of the day. The word was drink, and I was like, how the fuck you seriously like got a dream that came from your baby and told you the word was drink? And then she goes, yeah, I don't know, maybe she was thirsty.
It's crazy. So I think it was that day where I think it was drink. Summer got black, green, 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 green. The first 4 things. She tried every drink, think, etc. I don't know if it was that day, but it was one of those where she just got like she almost lost because she got such a good start.
That's so good.
And didn't have any letters like blanked out that made put her off the trail.
You know, we should stop talking about Wordle.
This is not a Wordle podcast.
It's not. But
Could be.
Final thing about Wordle, why I really like it. It feels every day like every day of March of 2020 when we all got Animal Crossing felt, where the whole world was doing the same thing every day. But this one doesn't have a time limit. Like, we're not all going to unlock KK next week and then stop playing the game forever. Like, we all just get to do Wordle every day, and that's pretty great.
Also, people can't do insane island builds that freak you out and scare you and make you wonder if you're even playing the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just nice. Everyone posts their gay little squares, and we all go, and that's it.
Yeah.
If Sam and Bernard are done sharing, I would love to hear not just how your recent life has been, but I don't know, like a little intro about what your deal is or something.
Yeah.
If that's okay with you.
You have a deal.
That's why I was saving you for last, so you could expound.
The best for last. Hello. Yes. So, been playing video games for a long time. Mostly RPGs, but definitely love your action adventures. Sort of found this podcast looking for like a Legend of Dragoon sort of fodder, which to get through a workday of just like, I need to do something. I need to listen to something. I'm out of my comedy podcast. What am I going to do? Like maybe some video game podcasts. And then happened upon this in Legend of Dragoon, which I loved.
I should personally thank whoever posted the soundtrack for Legend of Dragoon in Japanese on Spotify, because it's on Spotify. You can listen to it on Spotify, but it's super popular in America where they don't know how to speak Japanese. So instead they type in Legend of Dragoon and our podcast comes up first.
That's very important. Yeah. Anyone trying to go to listen to the soundtrack, it's like, here we are.
Yeah. Like everyone is looking for Legend of Dragoon soundtrack or Persona 3 soundtrack, and that's how they find us. If either of those get put on Spotify in English, we're done.
But even my username, Dakar's from Lufia 2, which is one of my favorite games.
Gosh, what a game.
Yeah, just the puzzles alone. And the soundtrack, another great soundtrack. So I've been playing video games for a long time. And sort of what I love about this podcast is sort of, obviously, you guys keeping, to the left, which is always good, is just like your approach to it is very sort of your own personalities coming to it, which I love. and I'm happy to be a part of it. So, starting my holidays, the Backstreet Boys reunion killed last holiday with my family. A little shout out to Eli for that. And so this year was the first year we've been back. And so seeing them was kind of nice to see the Christmas traditions up close and in person, given that, the previous year we couldn't do it. And yeah, it was great. Sort of video game wise, I finally, this holiday, got to play Last of Us 2. I know. I can't wait till you guys cover it, because I'm sure you will. But my take on it is, like, I understand the controversy. I don't understand a lot of it. But it's a game I loved, but I never want to play again, if that makes sense.
I honestly think that, like, there were 4 different reasons why people were mad about the game. Like, people were mad because they didn't like that it had gays in it. They didn't like it because they were, like, on the left and thought it was, like, had these bad politics. They didn't like it because of the gameplay. Like, I think every single criticism, I have not read a single criticism of the game that wasn't just, like, I disagree, but, like, no, this is not a coherent viewpoint. Like, this is wrong. What you're saying makes no fucking sense. I'm sorry. And there's not a lot of games I can say that about.
Yeah, the big one that made me, like, okay with not playing it back when it came out is everyone said it had the Uncharted ludonarrative dissonance thing where you're supposed to be the good guy, and yet you murder an entire boat full of pirates as level 1, the tutorial of Uncharted. But the specific examples that they brought up actually never happened in the game at all. And it's weird and bonkers, and it was very good. I do not like the characters, but, like, in a good literary way, not as it was unfun to learn these things about these characters, or it was bullshit or anything like that. It's like, oh no, I think you became a bad person while I was watching, and that's really interesting. And I
like
every made me do that.
Every critique I saw of, like, the game's, like, themes, I was like, that's not what the game is. That's not the game's themes. Like, I don't know, man. Read a text. Like, and again, I know everyone's got taste, but, like,
touch grass, read text.
I have not seen a critique of the game that I was like, okay, we just have different tastes. Every single one I've seen is like, no, that's wrong.
Yeah.
The big criticism I saw a lot of people saying, like, the game is so bleak as to be, like, immoral somehow. And I'm like, I haven't played the game, but
no,
what?
the game's main theme is a very beautiful, humane message that it presents via negation. That's my take on the game.
Anyway, sorry that we interrupted you with lots of discourse.
No. I mean, that's a podcast. This is the nature of it.
The reason I first interrupted, by the way, was kind of just to be like, no, you're valid to think that everyone's wrong about this game.
Yeah, for me, it's just I've never played a game where I'm like, what are you doing? No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to push the square button to keep doing this. And I don't want to do these things. Like, I don't agree with what's going on with the character, but that made the game more compelling, because it's like, what are video games but just vehicles of seeing outside your own perspective, or being in someone's reality? And it's just like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. I really loved it. But like I said, I don't ever want to go back, because I feel like once you've experienced it and you processed it, because I do think you need a little bit of process with it, just like to take a step back, think about sort of the narrative, think about the controversy, think about your own opinions, and then take a breath. I still think it's one of the best games I've played, narrative-wise, mechanics-wise. It's really fun. But it's just not something I look forward to playing, knowing where it's going to go.
It's not exactly a fun experience.
Yeah.
Also, it's very long. If you were to, like, watch the movie equivalent of this, you'd be subjecting yourself to a lot of very intense feelings for a couple hours. But this game is like 20 fucking hours long, right? Also, my actual one critique is that I don't think an editor should have chopped any levels out of the game, but I think they should have chopped 20% out of each level.
Yeah, no, totally.
That is my only actual critique of the game.
Yeah, no, it was a little too long. I agree with you there. It was a little too long.
One of the great strengths of The Last of Us 1 is how it feels huge, but it's actually not very long.
Right.
Yeah,
That's why I think the strength lies in that game as well. So yeah, this one, to Matt's point, I think it's like 25 hours. It's just a little too long for what it is. Especially because some of it's fetch quest, where I'm just like, another one? We just did one. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. And sort of to Maddy going to Seattle, it's like, if you've been to Seattle, it's very true to the Seattle landscape and stuff like that. And I thought that was really amazing.
People have said that. I didn't see Seattle landscape because of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, but I understand what the concept.
The concept of landscapes.
Well, just like the map. There's a map.
Yeah, like people from Seattle have said that the game, even though it's in the future and destroyed, extremely evokes Seattle, and that's cool. I'm glad that people who are from that place say that the game does that, because that's, wow, like, good on them, you know?
I remember us being like, when we talked about The Last of Us Part 1, the prologue, we were like, oh my gosh, it actually feels like Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so much so that we all talked about how, like, when they turned on the road that's supposed to lead into Austin, we're like, that road's not in Austin, that road's in Huntsville. What are they doing? Yeah. But anything else you'd like to bring up before we get dived right in, Anthony?
Yeah, let's do it.
I would like to ask one more question. Go ahead. You don't have to share this. I know when it comes to the internet, there's like privacy, or just like being a human being, people like privacy. But the three of us tend to share things about like personal life and stuff. So if you want to share anything about family or work or what you know, anything like that, feel free to. I mean, I'm curious, but I also don't want to pry. Just opening the door.
I feel like this is this is like NPR and Terry Gross is just like, what do you feel about this? Yeah, so I'm the oldest child of three. California native. Went to school in San Francisco. Went to grad school in Seattle.
I didn't realize we had an academic here.
And lived in San Francisco for like at least 10 years and then moved to LA more recently. Love it. Love both. I mean, I like California. It's hard. You grow up here and it's like you get so used to it. Visiting other places becomes like more of what you want to do, and then California's still home base. I have a dog, Boston Terrier. Love him. Waffles. Great dog.
Great name for a dog.
I got him before pandemic. This was before 2016. So we had a couple of years before, things locked down. And then now I'm home all the time, work from home. And every time I leave now, he freaks out. So that's great. I've ruined my dog. But our relationship's never been closer. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Is that good? Did I do it?
No, that was great.
Where's the hoop?
No, it's like now like next week, if something happens relating to your dog, well, now we know that you have. We already know that. You just. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I'm building the narrative arc. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta build up the lore.
I don't know. I haven't had COVID yet, so let's hope I don't get it. I'm just now jinxing myself to get it. It's weird. I feel like so.
I had an exposure scare this week, but I don't have it.
I had an exposure scare too, but I don't have it.
That's exactly the same as me. It's like a few friends in my inner circle, sort of like, which consists of 10 people. They finally broke through. It got to one, and then there was an exposure scare. I tested, and I'm just like, man, when am I going to get this thing? Is it going to happen? And then Dr. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was cold and rainy, so my throat was not feeling good, and I was like, please just be cold and rainy. Please don't be anything else. But I felt fine the next morning. But that's the closest I've ever been scared the whole time.
I'm glad.
Same. But yeah, so hopefully I don't get it. But, LA, I think the statistics, it's like 1 in 5. So there's a little bit of a zombie of walking people on the street and like looking like wild-eyed at them. Do they look healthy? Are they going to come at me?
Yeah. At my workplace, apparently there's an outbreak, which, go figure, I did not learn this from a supervisor or from an email, but of course I learned it from my union, my union steward, who, you know, it's his job to look out for the workers, but it's like, oh, okay, so the union steward had to tell us there was an outbreak because the actual company won't fucking tell us. But people are out constantly. And the thing is, I know it's not all COVID. It's also just like people be out sometimes. And also like, especially the first week of the new year, it's like, oh, I bet people are just like taking a little, like, I'm just going to have a bit of a war vacation by calling in sick and just extend my vacation a little bit, right? So now every time someone's gone, it's just like, do you have COVID or are you just gone for normal reasons? Fuck. And it like, this is the slowest time of the entire year for UPS. And yet it's just as busy, if not slightly busier than normal, because of how insanely understaffed we are due to insane number of people calling out. That I think that really sums up how bad it is here. Yikes! But I don't have it.
Good. So yeah, let's
keep on watch.
Yeah.
Are y'all double masking?
No, but I'm going to start.
I should be double masking, but they need to get boosted. I have not gotten boosted yet, but we all should be getting boosted.
Yeah, I've got boosted.
I'm boosted. I have some KN95 masks. I haven't been double masking, but I haven't really been going anywhere.
Okay, well that's fine too.
Like I would like go through a drive-through and have my single mask on for that.
Yeah. I mean, that's better than most people. I just meant like grocery store, or you know, if
the grocery store. That's where I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it. Also, your COVID story. I feel like a lot of people had cooler COVID stories. Where like New Year's Eve, I gave up. I went to a party. I got COVID, but I had the greatest time of my life. I feel like I'm just going to get it, sort of at the grocery store. Very lame, and people are going to be, oh, that's a great story.
See, my scare was from a hookup, so that would have been cool.
Yeah,
that is a cool story.
My scare was just from hanging out with a friend.
Better story than my grocery store.
Speaking of scares, let's talk about this scary video game in which
2 out of 4.
2 out of 4, too scary.
Yeah. And we'll listen to some of the music. I haven't decided which one. And then we'll talk about the plot. All right, so Maddy, take it away.
All right, so we're playing Suikoden II. Oh, we forgot to do the part where we share our past with this game. Whatever, who cares? Who gives a fuck? We don't need to do it. This game...
Yeah, I looked it up, and it's not that interesting, actually. So the series is loosely based on The Water Margin, one of the great... It's one of the other great Chinese novels. We're all familiar with Journey to the West because of Dragon Ball, but the other one that everything is The Water Margin, and
or Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Or Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
And there's a fourth one that I don't remember the name of.
Me neither. But basically, this dude fresh out of college came to Konami and was like, "I want a job," and they're like, "Can you make an RPG for the PlayStation?" And he said, "Yeah." And then he started Suikoden, and he's basically just done the first 3 mainline and 3 spin-offs of Suikoden, and now he's coming back to do Eiyuden Chronicle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It. Yeah, so the history, like game designer history, is basically there isn't any. So shoutouts to Yoshitaka Murayama.
That reminds me,
Murayama.
This is part of my notes, but I'll ask it now. Is this the first game we've played by Konami?
Probably. It's one of Konami's only RPGs.
Remember when Konami?
Yeah.
Remember Castlevania and Contra and Metal Gear and Suikoden and Tokimeki Memorial? and just everything by Konami.
Yep. So yeah, fun little fact. This is our first game ever by Konami, one of the all-time greats of Japanese game design, but not known for their RPGs. Although it turns out they make a good one. So first, let's talk about the intro video. You turn on your PlayStation game console or emulator. Just kidding. Parody in Minecraft. And you get your typical little intro video. I got excited about it being Konami. First, there's some mysterious chanting, and then it says Suikoden II. And then there's a bunch of anime people, a whole bunch of anime people, because I don't know if you've heard, but this game is famous for having 108 playable characters. So the thing where all the anime portraits show up in the intro is a lot.
Not technically 108 playable characters, 108 recruitable characters.
Okay.
You can't actually put all of them in your party.
Okay.
You can put a fucking lot of them in your party, though, more than you should be able to.
Anyway, there's a bunch of weird symbols, and then there's a burning city, now a not burning castle and a bunch of soldiers. We see both CG models and flat anime portraits at the same time, which is a little funny to me. Then we see a guy whom very angry. He looks like a villain because he's angry and not angry in a hero way, but angry in a villain way. Then we see a burned down, slightly still smoldering village. And it seems like it's over, like this dramatic intro, and now it's over. But then there's like a second half to the video, and the music changes from being dramatic and scary to being like heroic and upbeat. And it shows a little plant pushing through the ground of the smoldering village to show that life goes on. So now you got this heroic music, and it's a young anime boy and a bunch more animes. And instead of war and shit, it's like they're all having a good time, drinking in pubs and going on adventures. Wow, there's so many characters in this game. And then one of them is a dog boy, and I got real excited about that. Then there are 3 special magic light thingies, a red one, a blue one, and a yellow one, flying through the air. I bet that'll be important. So that's the intro. So we start the game, and it's nighttime. Instead of being woken up at the start of the game, as is JRPG tradition, you're already awake, which is unusual because everyone else is asleep. Someone walks in. My character's name is in all caps, as is tradition, Toby. Tobey. I'm Toby. Someone walks in, and it's our friend Joey. Spelled Jawy. I'm not going to tell you his last name yet because it's stupid. So Joey Wheeler says, "Oh, hey you're all dressed up and ready to go already?" Sorry, I actually misunderstood that dialogue. So he is like, "Damn, you're already dressed in your normal clothes? Me too. I'm excited to get back home." To go in the future when this actually makes sense, you're soldiers and the war's over, so you were so eager to go home and not be a soldier anymore that you just have already taken off your uniform. He's like, "Yeah, I'm really excited too, man. We're gonna be returning back home." Toby has a sister named Nanami, and Konami, and she is Toby is apparently her quote only family since Master Genkaka died. So then we go out and we can explore the city. We can explore where we are a little bit before we go, because it's nighttime. It's like it's time for bed. We can't go to sleep because we're so excited. For each town, since this is more of a traditional RPG, each town we get to, I'm gonna write a little paragraph of what you learn if you talk to NPCs. And I'll just put whatever I feel like is important, and if it's not, I won't put it in. So what we learn is that these are all, quote, Highland soldiers from the, quote, Unicorn Brigade. They fight for the Empire and just signed a peace treaty with, quote, the city-state, which... haven't heard that one before. I find that quite funny. Every RPG has a empire that's just called the Empire, but this is the first game I played to have a city-state called the city-state.
There's only one.
Also, they often call it the state for short. Anyway, so they just signed a peace treaty, but some people apparently don't feel too good about it. They're like, I don't know, is this really going to last? So we go to sleep, eager to return home tomorrow. But in the nighttime, there's a surprise attack. We wake up hearing a surprise attack. Joey joins Toby's party, and we investigate. When we go out of our little dorm, the military camp is on fire, but there are no enemy soldiers. One of our guys is like, yep, the city-state attacked. They broke our treaty that we just signed. We should escape to the east. So we run east, but then Joey realizes, wait a second, Toby, this is the only exit. Surely the enemies would know this is the only exit, so we're probably running into a trap. We're about to get ambushed. Which, like, smart military tactics, Joey, good job. So we return back to the camp to inform our commander, Dowd, D-O-W-D, of this.
I thought he was Rowd.
You're right. You're right.
Because he's a rowdy boy.
You're right. I think at the time I typed this, I just forgot the guy's name. Yeah, so we go to tell Rowd of this. But, oh no, we get into a cutscene, and Rowd is talking with some bad guys. He's talking with this dude named Luca, which made me remember, oh right, Luca Blight is a very popular character in video games. So he's talking with a guy named Luca, and he's like, yes, the plan worked perfectly. They're all running into the ambush. And the other guy, Luca, speaks. And OMG, it's the guy from the anime who's clearly the villain. It's the guy who was angry earlier. Prince Luca says he wishes he'd been part of the ambush because all he's been fighting lately is, quote, the old man. But then we realize that this is not a secret attack by the city-state that Rowd was betraying us to them. Luca is our prince, the Prince of Highland. This is all a complicated setup to frame the city-state for breaking the treaty, because Luca and Rowd don't want a treaty. What bastards? At this point, I'm very invested because that's a good setup. Not wanting to get owned, we, the party, fucking book it off to the cliff to the north. But Captain Rowd catches up and sicks some soldiers on us. We have our first battle, huh?
Let me stop you right there.
Did you make a different choice?
I did do something different. So this is one of the things about this game.
This game gives the player lots of choices, and every time there's a choice, you never really know if it's the kind of choice where it's like a but thou must, or if it's actually going to result in something different. And a lot of them, I had no idea. I went with my heart. So yes, please interrupt when things are different. So to be more clear, the choice was, do we go up to Rowd and say, yo, what the fuck? Or do we run off? And I chose run off.
That actually wasn't the choice that I made. That was different.
Oh.
I missed where they said everybody run to the east. And earlier, because he's like, oh, I can't sleep. Do you want to walk around town? I made it to the waterfall. And I was like, this looks really cool and probably interesting. And I know it's not right now because over to the east, there's a lot of soldiers I can talk to, and over towards the north. So you just
went there to begin with.
So I went straight there. So Rowd is bringing Luca to exterminate us so that we don't break their illusion. He's like, oh, Joey and Rio didn't come through here. They must have gone the other way. We can't let them escape. And so they personally came to destroy us, which is different. Really fucking cool.
Holy cow. Well, one way or the other.
Also, I did, in the Let's Play I watched, you can go up to Rowd and say, what the fuck, if you're an idiot, and you fight some soldiers, then you run off to the north. See, that's what
I figured. I figured it was just you fight them in a different place.
No
matter what fight them to the north, you get an extra battle.
So no matter what choice you make, if you just walk to Rowd, it just triggers a fight. Because I triggered the choice of let's run, and then walked up just to see. And I fought them twice. And then died, and then had to redo it.
That's really neat. So in my version, we book it for the clip. And the thing is, the fact that these choices are all so different means you really get to role play. Toby, it's one of those games where he's a silent protagonist, but oftentimes your dialogue choices are very lengthy. So, like, you're saying long sentences, even though you don't have dialogue outside of dialogue choices. So I was actually feel like I was starting to almost like role play, because the character seems to have so much. All the other characters talk to you like you have a personality, so it's actually pretty fun to really role play in a game that is like, I think, oh, what would this character do if he had these experiences? So yeah, I've been doing that.
And they do a really cool thing with that towards the end of our gameplay session this week, which is really cool.
So anyway, so we go into a battle, and oh my god, these graphics, holy shit. Also, what the hell, this battle system is weird. Let's talk about it later. What the fuck is what I wrote in my notes. Anyway, we win, and Dowd is like, grr, I'll be right back with reinforcements. Don't go anywhere. And he runs off. Not wanting to get owned when he returns, Toby and Joey decide to jump off the cliff into the raging river below. Joey cuts a mark into a stone and says, Toby, if we get separated, let's promise to both return here so we'll be together again. We get a dialogue choice. Instead of saying, I promise, I say, you stupid baka, we're not going to be separated. So he says, okay, then this mark symbolizes our prayer that we'll make it. So we jump. We then, which of course foreshadows that you're going to be separated for the entire game, and it's going to be this journey of not knowing where your friend is. So we jump. And then we get the opening credits with a beautiful, heartfelt piano music over a sepia-toned in-game cutscene. We see a montage showing that Joey and Toby have been best friends since early childhood, going to school together, learning to fight in a dojo together, and finally shipping off for war together. It's fucking great, and this is the part where I was messaging everyone, wow, this game rules.
Also, there is a third child in the flashbacks, presumably Nanami.
Yes. We wake up on the side of the river. Sure enough, Joey is nowhere to be seen. But some other guys are. A dude asks, yo, WTF, what are you doing unconscious in the river? We try to explain that we were attacked by the city-state, except it was a fake attack, etc. But he doesn't really understand. He says, but we just signed a peace treaty with everyone. Then he asks if we're a Highlander. And after initially lying, we eventually admit, yes, we are a Highlander. As suspected, these people are our enemies. His name is Victor, leader of the mercenary army and friend of the city-state of Jowson. Another guy, Flick, shows up and says, hey, sorry, the, quote, other one went down the river and we couldn't get him. Victor...
So, I'm going to save most of my talk about Suikoden 1 until memorable moments, but I do want to point out Victor and Flick are very important characters in Suikoden 1.
Cool. Yeah, I kind of figured it was like immediately after the previous game since you import your save and all. Anyway, so Victor says, hey, like, I know that like we're at peace, but like y'all are the former enemies and you're kind of here very like mysteriously on our territory, so like I gotta take you prisoner, but like in a chill way. We go back to
he's a cool jailer.
We go back to the fort, and the music, I gotta point out here, the music is an upbeat, like Celtic instrumentation version of a hymn called Persinent Odie. It's like a really traditional, like Catholic Christmas song. I only know this because I sang it in a choir one time. Persinent Odie voces puerule. Really weird that they used an actual hymn for this. I guess they just wanted something that sounded like medieval. If I knew what the lyrics were, I could tell you if it has any deep meaning. But I just realized, even though I do have it pulled up, I don't feel like taking the time to do that. So like, I don't know. That's fun. So anyway, also I want to point out, the game doesn't make this clear off the bat, but like our main character is like very, very young. Like, I don't know exactly, but like he's not just like a 17-year-old boy because everyone in anime is. It's like many characters refer to like, you're a very young person for being in war. So like they treat you not like they would treat an adult POW, but like you would treat a child, basically.
Also, the Unicorn Brigade, or whatever they're called, is also referred to as like the youth army or something.
Yeah.
So I take it to like he's like 14 or something.
Yeah. So it turns out that this game is guest starring child soldiers. So yeah, I know that back in the day, like it was like often for young children to fight, but in this game, it seems like it's not common for children this young to be fighting.
I think they're every Gundam series.
Exactly. So the next morning, our prison guard shows up. He says, "My name is Pohl, Pohl, and we're gonna go eat breakfast, and then you're gonna get to work because you do have to do forced labor. So he teaches us to push boxes and then feeds us dinner, apologizing for the smallness of the rations. The next morning, he sends us on some more errands. I'm not going to go into it, but the errands, we end up getting to explore, but I didn't find anything particularly useful. Everyone's just like, we're soldiers. We live here. The war's over. The errands are to get a couple of items, but we end up being all out of flour. So we have to go to the nearby town of Ryobe, but of course they can't just let the prisoner go away on his own, so they give us a party member escort, who is Leona? Oh my gosh, hot lady alert. But no, it turns out that Leona, the hot lady, is not joining our party. She is simply going to find someone else to go with, but good news, it's a cute little bipedal corgi boy named Gangan. He's awesome. Also, a cute little girl named Tuta. I say little girl, but like this is where I realized that our character's young because we're both like apparently the same age. We're both young people.
I took her to be like 7.
Maybe she's younger than us. But anyway, also apparently in this world, a bipedal corgi boy is apparently a kobold in this game. So okay.
Yeah, there were kobolds in Suikoden 1 as well. They are also good boys.
Yeah. So anyway, we travel north to Ryube. And I know what I'm about to say is wrong. Just bear with me. We traveled north on the world map to Ryube.
Oh, Tuta is a little boy.
Oh, he was a boy? Huh.
Oh.
Well, anyway. So
he's a boy?
He's a boy.
Huh. Well, whatever.
Yeah, he's 11 and Rio is 16.
Gotcha.
Okay, in Suikoden 1, I met a character named Sheena, who has like this pink pixie cut and a earring and is talking about ladies all the time. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe there's a lesbian in this game. But it turns out Sheena is a guy.
What? That's stupid. I don't think so. I think Sheena is a he/him lesbian. Anyway, so we traveled north to Ryube, but we stopped by Toto on the way. We learned that we can save at inns. Fucking finally, thank God. We haven't saved yet. So that's nice. Exploring Toto. This is a sweet little town. Everyone's discussing the recent end of the war, wondering how it will affect their lives or if it will last. Some of them lament the possible loss of business from traveling armies, while others are rejoicing. There are many children and a shrine whose doors are only opened on, quote, big holidays. There's a bridge across the river, but in classic JRPG fashion, we are not allowed to cross. Apparently, the armies are still pretty tense and have things locked down right now. We exit, and then, upon consulting a game FAQ, realize that Ryube was northeast of the fort, not northwest. I misremembered the dialogue, and in fact, Toto was not on the way. We had walked right past it. So then we go back to Ryube, and the music is beautiful. It's like the most peaceful town imaginable. Exploration. Apparently the war being over is, quote, all thanks to Annabelle, according to one guy, but not according to another guy. We also hear tell of a terrifying mist monster in the mountain pass to the north. There's like some traveling performers who are setting up for a show later, 2 insanely hot ladies, and 1 dumb guy. Here, the townspeople seem more worried that the war will resume soon. Compared to the other town. So we get the flour and return back to the port. Another day passes with more chores and talking with the very sweet Pole, but one evening, Joey sneaks in at night to rescue us. So the game wasn't setting up what I thought it was setting up. So we exit upstairs and all the soldiers are right there.
We get caught immediately.
We can choose between either fighting or giving up, but I chose to give up because I, role-playing as Toby, have grown very fond of these people and would rather not own them. Or get owned by them, probably, but still, like, I wouldn't want to fight them. Like, I really like all these characters. I've been talking to them a lot lately.
If you choose to own them, you doesn't go into a battle. Flick just backhands you. It's pretty great.
Nice.
Similar to Maddy, I just want to say, I feel like it's like how they humanize the mercenaries so quickly is with the food scenes, where they like feed you dinner and they apologize to you for eating, like, and it's like somehow it creates this like sort of familiarity. I don't know. I agree with
absolutely. And also, I mean, you can talk to all the mercenaries at their barracks, and they're just hanging out. They want to go home. They're eaten food. You know, also they're all having small rations. It's not just us. Anyway, these people take us up to Victor's office, and they're like, "All right, look, you gotta tell us who you are now, okay?" Anyway, it turns out his name is Joey Atreides. Which
never trust Atreides.
I just think it's neat. It's just a really unexpected place for a Dune reference. Is all I'm going to say about that.
Atreides is a very common surname. It's not.
No, I was like, what? In the space empire, maybe on the planet Caladan, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we fess up and we explain not just who we are, but also why we're here, and also the whole like fake attack by Luca Blight thing. Victor's like really troubled by this and asks what we were planning on doing when we, escaped. We're like, oh, we were going to go back to our home village in Highland. He seems really conflicted about like what is the right thing to do here. So eventually he says, look, y'all need to keep being our captives for like just for a little bit, okay? So in our cell, Pol says he knows it's not fun, but please don't try to escape. Victor is totally going to let you out soon, I promise. At night, Joey immediately wants to escape. We do not get to choose, like, no, let's not escape this time. He realized that the items that we've collected doing errands will do just the trick. Basically, over the course of doing our errands, we ended up collecting, like, a bit of flint and a cloth that is soaked in oil, and also a rope
that we kept for
and
some
also
reason.
Maybe one more thing, I don't know. So
there was a spoon. He uses a spoon to pick the lock.
That's right. So anyway, at one point, there's a guard in front of the door or in front of a place we need to go. So we end up like basically making a makeshift Molotov cocktail, basically, or not exactly. We use a flint to light the rag and then just throw the burning rag without having any kind of bottle, which made me be like, oh god, we're gonna burn this whole place down. Like that's what's about to happen.
Also, you're gonna completely destroy your hand. While you're making that.
But anyway, so we throw it as a distraction, and the guard is like, hey, why is there a thing on fire over here? So then we escape up a balcony and then use a rope to get down. Turns out we did not burn everyone down. It was just a distraction. Thank goodness. I would have been very upset if that had happened. So we run away.
I don't know what I would do if a town got burned down in this game.
I know, right?
Not a lot of RPGs start with the hero burning down a village.
Yeah, the hero burned down the village, and they're all like, we got to exile you for burning down the village. And he's like, yes, that makes sense. So we escape and run away. We go to Ryube, and hey, it's the performance happening now. The sisters Rina, Ellie, and Big Brother Bolgan. I always say we. You know this. I always use the royal we for some reason. We, a.k.a. Toby, catch Ellie's eye, and she grabs us as part of the show, tying us up to a tree. Turns out she's going to demonstrate her knife throwing. Bolgan puts a pumpkin on our heads. Rena whispers to us that we need to stay calm and not move. Ellie has been off her game lately, but like it's fine. I've got really good medicine in case you need it, which is great. So next entails a really cute scene where Ellie will throw a knife a couple times, and like the first time it's a pumpkin, and the next time it's like a smaller pumpkin, and then eventually it's like an apple, so it's a smaller and smaller target. And each time she throws the knife, we can choose to move to the right, move to the left, or not move. I personally chose to not move every time, and she, turns out, is good at knife throwing. She hit her target every time, and we did not get hurt. Did y'all do anything different here?
No.
The long play I was watching held still, and I also would have held still
Again,
if I were choosing it.
Yeah, that's what
it gives you the option to move to the left or right, and I'm like, well, I don't know which way would be better to move. I'm just going to trust her.
Yeah,
well, I think it's the multiple options. It's like first stand still, then it's asks you 2 more times, and then you're just like, should I move left? Should I move right? I mean, it seems like you would.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get a couple of choices, but I just pick stand still every time.
The screenshot Let's Play by Nephrite on the letsplayarchive.org. They are doing a completionist run, so they're showing what every choice does. If you move either to the right or the left, you get hit with a knife.
love
Do
that.
you die or what happens?
No, the girl is like, "Don't worry, I have medicine." She runs up. It's like, "We fucking told you to not fucking move. Don't move again." And then you get the choice to.
That's really
move again
fun.
anyways.
I have medicine that will restore the eye that was just destroyed.
Well, anyway, after we trust in this person we just met and don't get a knife thrown in our eye, they thank us for our assistance. We tell them that we're going to Chiaro Village, and they're like, hey, us too. We already performed at all the other villages, so we got to go somewhere else. But, there is that terrifying mist monster blocking the path. But with the 5 of us together, surely we'll be safe. So they join our party. We go to the forest, and this is a minor scene, but there's some guards guarding the path to the forest, because it's a dangerous forest, and also it's an enemy, it's a military border. So they won't let us by. But then Ellie is like, please let us by, doing like big puppy dog eyes. And then Borgen is like, does even more puppy dog eyes and is like, please let us by. And they're like kind of wanting to, but like we really can't. And then Rena goes up to one of the guards and is like, hey, come with me. And they walk off screen. And then they come back on screen, and then he's like, okay, just don't tell anybody, just go. Which is also, I forget the way it's written, but Rena's dialogue here is really hot. Like, whatever she says to him is very hot. So it's fun. So we go through the dungeon, and we try out some mechanics, and have a very weirdly... Was this boss insanely fucking hard for y'all, or just me?
I don't remember it being too hard.
Easy for me.
So for me, this whole game has been very easy. Every battle has been just like really easy. Especially now we have 5 characters in our party. But then the boss is like doing enough damage to kill the weaker characters in one hit. Mm-hmm. Like I beat it with 2 characters out of 5 alive. Was that how it was for you, Anthony?
So one of the things it's like I didn't know about the Unite attack, which does so much damage. These Unite attacks really save you in a lot of these like pinch sort of things, because the siblings also have a Unite attack, which does a lot of damage as well. So the first time I tried it, I did die, and then the second time I tried it, I was like, oh, there has to be other ways we can do this. And then I tried the runes and sort of the magic, and then I was like, okay, I just don't know any of the systems. Everything's brand new, and they just throw you in. So.
I used the circus guys Unite attack and some of the rune items that I had, and I beat it real easy.
Just so you know, I gotta go around 10:30 for y'all, 8:30 for those of us on the West Coast. So I'm gonna. Okay. I think we should wait till next week to talk about the battle system, because it is quite interesting. But it's a battle system with a few little extra things here and there, and amazing graphics. Cool. So we fight this boss. It's a very, in my opinion, very obvious reference to FF4, because it's a mist monster that transforms into a different mist monster. Anyway, we get to Chiaro. When we get to Chiaro, our hometown, we split up so that Toby and Joey can both go home independently. Exploration. We find out that something sure has happened here. Everyone seems really upset about something done to their town by a third party. Also, they keep being like, Toby, what are you doing here? You gotta run away. A kid says that we're a traitor, like our dad. And then I realized, no, they're mad about what happened at the camp. We realized that Raud must have come back from the camp, told everyone that the state attacked, and that both Toby and Joey are traitors. There's a nice bunch of cute little scenes. There's a scene where you go into someone's house and this mom is like, I'm so sad that our son died in the attack. And then you go outside and there's a girl being like, my big brother hasn't come home yet. I miss him. And I'm like, that sucks. I hate that. There's a lot of really nice NPC writing here. So we go to our house and OMG, it's Nanami. I love her. She's so relieved and happy to see us that she tackles us, and the animation is amazing. So here's the thing about this game real quick. I'm trying to gush for a second. This game has the most... I don't think I've ever seen a classic JRPG with 2D graphics with this many bespoke animations. It's incredible how many animations these sprites have for every fucking thing. Anyway, so She tackles us. She's so happy her big brother's home. She says that everyone thinks that we're spies, but like I don't even know what they're mad about. Fuck that shit. Let's get the hell out of here. Ugh. So we leave, and it's Raud with a bunch of soldiers. We say, this is a choice here, but I tell him to go fuck himself, and we fight. But it's a forced loss. All the soldiers are super easy, but Raud himself is very powerful. So he takes us captive. Now we see what's up with Joey. At his home, which is a big mansion, his father and older brother tell him that he's a traitor, and they no longer recognize him as an Atreides, as guards escort him away. He asks to see Rosa, his mother, but the father says that she doesn't want to see him. He calls bullshit, but to no avail. Very sad, much sadder scene for Joey. This whole thing gives me very big Delita from FFT vibes, where your friend is like the big fancy royalty bourgeois person, and you're just some guy. I like it, even though you're the hero. Anyway, so we're in prison again. Then I'm not going to put this in much detail. You're in prison, okay? And it's all three of you together, and you explain to Nanami what's going on, and then you decide, and then they take y'all away, just the two of you, not her. And then the bad guy, he's going to execute you. Oh, wait, no, we're not at the execution yet, sorry. We're in prison, and then we decide to escape. Wait, no. Yeah. Okay, sorry. We're good. I got a little mixed up on my notes here. Yeah. So they take you, and they're gonna execute you by hanging. And the bad guy gives bad guy being Raud, gives a big villain monologue where he mostly says what we already know, but it's a little more. It's like, oh, you're not just some guy. Like basically his motivation is just he's really, really ambitious and is tired of leading the stupid backwater unicorn brigade. He wants to be a big shot general, and you can't really do that if there's no war. And also Prince Luca has some kind of very big ambitions of grandeur, and is tired of being a prince. So, they're engineering this war so that they can advance their careers, essentially, is what the plot is right now. So they're about to hang you, and then just as you're about to get hanged, all of a sudden something happens, and like an explosion or something, and you're saved. And who are we saved by? It's our friends Victor and Flick.
I've got to say exactly how this scene happens, because it's fucking stupid and hilarious.
Okay, tell me. This is one of those things where I was so engaged that I had to go back and write the notes later.
Mm-hmm. So the two of you are on the scaffold, and you're getting beat. So there's sound effects of you getting beaten while you're on the scaffold. And Raud starts monologuing again, and he stares up into the sky, and it pans up, and we see the sky, and the sound effects of people getting beaten continues. And then it pans down, and Victor and Flick have owned everone, and the sounds we were hearing were actually Victor and Flick owning all the soldiers. And somehow Raud did not realize this. The soldiers weren't like yelling or anything. It's really stupid, and I love it.
That is good. I don't even think I noticed it, because I was like, when you're in note-taking mode, you're a little different. Anyway, yeah, so you're now escaped. Flick and Victor say, oh, we're so glad we got here in time. I think they say something like Pole had followed us and then saw we were in danger, so then ran back or something like that. Anyway, so they're here to save us. And so then we get to run around and we go to escape. And funny enough, as we're escaping, we realize, wait a second, Nanami is still in prison. We got to go back and get her. But turns out that as we're halfway to her, she had already escaped and was coming to rescue us. So we run into each other while simultaneously going to rescue each other. It's very cute. And then you run off and you're like, let's get the fuck out of here. And that's it. The game doesn't tell you where to go, but I figure we should go back to the mercenary camp. So we backtrack backwards through the Mystic Mountains and all the way back to the mercenaries' camp. And after we do that, we basically explain what's going on. And there's no super big plot forward movement here. It's just like we tell them all what's going on with the evil plot and all that, and they're all just like, man, that really sucks. Like, what? We need to stop this, but we're not really sure what. So for the time being, I think that y'all should just go and we need some allies. Obviously, you need allies to fight this threat. So they send us out to collect more characters because that's a big part of this game. At this point, we realize that the extremely hot lady who kind of is partially running the inn here, she does the same job as the
Dragon Quest 3.
Yeah, the Dragon Quest 3 person, who makes the party manager, you might say. Yeah, exactly. A lot of Dragon Quest in this game. And you also have someone who manages like your items, like you can store your items, blah 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 blah. Right off the bat, you can take yourself and Joey, and you can add the kobold from earlier. You can add him to your party. He's just there, available. So we go and explore. And I just go north to the nearest town to pick up some extra characters. It turns out that, like, basically the game just says, go get more people. I was thinking, if I get enough for a full party, does that advance the plot? No. Advancing the plot is getting a certain character. But the game doesn't really tell you that. So you just... If you had decided to go to the city of Toto first, then you would have just missed all this. So anyway, I go to the city of whatever it's called, the nearby city, Ryubei first, and I get a couple party characters. Turns out it's not hard. The second I enter the town, there's this guy who's like laying on the ground, probably passed out being drunk. And you talk to him, and he's just like, ah. I don't remember what he says. And
he says he's hungry.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's so hungry. Please feed me. Please feed me. And I click yes. And I'm expecting it to like open up a menu, like please give this guy food. But I just say yes, and he's like, okay, thanks. We take him to the inn, and apparently he eats $3,000 worth of food. And he's like, Are you going to pay for it or what? And I kind of was mashing buttons a little bit. So I did just go ahead and pay $3,000 because I had it. Did y'all?
Yeah.
Nice. I don't know what happens if you don't. I don't even know what the other option was. If it was like don't pay or if it was like bargain them down.
Yeah. Maddy, you have to leave in 15 minutes, so let's just skip to Toto.
I'll very quickly, I do want to cover the characters, though. Okay, so anyway, he joins your party because he says, hey, they got lots of food at mercenary camp, right? Cool, I'll join your party. We also get this guy named Kinnison and Shiro. We go into a forest, and we meet a guy who loves the forest, and his pet wolf who loves the forest, and he's like, damn, war is bad for the forest. I want to fuck up the Highlanders and save the forest. That's why he joins your party. A very good reason, makes sense. Then there's a girl who's like, please help me find my pet who ran off. You go and you find the pet that ran off, and she goes, thanks. Now I'm going to join your party. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's the three characters we have so far. Then we go to Toto, and Sam's taking over for me.
Cool. So we head off to Toto. You can pick up a mage named Zamza if you want. All you do is say, join my party, and he says, okay.
Zamza's so good, though. So good.
Zamza is spectacular. I'm mad that I didn't take him with me to the north, which I'll get to later. So I probably won't ever use him again. But for a bit, he's really awesome. But the main thing that happens is you go to Toto, and Joey's like, "Oh, this is the town where I washed up. Let me go introduce you to this little girl I know." But she's not there. So you leave to go do more side quests, and then you come back, and then she's there. She's like, hey, Uncle Joey, you got to come talk to my parents. So you go inside, and you have a little conversation with her parents, and then she pulls you over to the side and is like, hey, it's my dad's birthday, and I've been saving up all of my money all year long to buy him this amulet that I saw at the store over in Muse that's really cool, and I think that he would really, really like it. So here's all of my money. It's 70 potch, which is like 70 cents. And she's like, go and buy it for me. And we're like, awesome, we will. Don't worry about it. So we trek over to the big city of Muse, and we get there, and the guy's like, oh, this this garbage, yeah, you can have it for like 500 potch. And we're like, oh shit, well, fuck it, we'll buy it for her. It'll be fine. We love the little girl. So we buy it and make our way back to the town. But when we get to Toto, it's been burnt to the ground.
No, how could this possibly have happened?
Yeah, it's at this point that I'm like, oh, okay, here we are. We were thrown in prison twice. Now the town has been burnt. Here's our inciting incident. This was obviously an important town because it had the shrine. This will be great. This will be the burn town that starts us on our way. And it wasn't. So we find the little girl, Pilika, and she was like, my parents told me to hide, but then everything got really quiet. I came out and I saw their bodies, and they were covered in red sticky stuff, and they're not moving. I don't know what's going on. And we're like, crap, we have to like teach this girl about death. And while we're figuring that out, a hot chick named Apple, different kind of hot from the other hot. The other girls were Ming hot. This is Sarah hot from Lost Odyssey.
Every female character in this game is fucking hot in a different way.
Yeah. So this girl named Apple shows up, and she's like, hey, I saw what happened. Things are going bad. It's Prince Luca that's doing this. I need to find Victor and Flick. They're important. And we're like, oh, cool. We know where they are. So we go with Pilika and Apple, and we tell Victor that they burned down Toto. Victor and Apple know each other, and
Apple's also in the previous game.
Yeah. And so she's like, yeah, Luca apparently set things up. So now he's screaming for all of the citizens of Highland to take revenge for the lives of the Unicorn Brigade that were lost in the attack. So so Victor is like, okay, we need to discuss some strategy because shit's real now. People have died, so we need to figure out what it is. You guys go get some rest. So we do so, and while we're there, like doting over Pilika because shit's real hard, and Joey's like, I don't know who to feel loyal to. I am like a Highland noble, but also I was betrayed, and now I really care about Pilika, and her village was burned down. I kind of don't know where I fit in all of this, and we're like, but you can trust me. And he's like, of course. And then Leona shows up and is like, hey, Victor wants to talk to you. So Victor's like, we decided to fight, so we need you to go and find us a gunsmith. They don't use the word guns, they're fire spears, but they're like, there's a guy who makes guns, no one else knows how to make it. This will be our key thing, so we need you to go find this gunsmith so that he can make us more and fix the ones that we have. He lives over in Ryubei village. So we head on over to Ryubei village, and we go the opposite direction from Millie's side quest and find a cabin out in the woods. And this guy named Sai comes up, and we're like, oh, are you Sai of the Divine Spear? And he goes, something like that. I make guns now, so I'll guess I'll come with you if you can pay. And we're like, of course we'll pay. And then we come back to Ryubei village, and it's burnt to the fucking ground.
Rip.
And it's every time we come to a small village, it's burnt to the ground. And so Sai so we see when we get there that Luca's still there, and like this girl is crying for her life. She's like, please just spare me. And goes, okay, I'll spare you if you act like a pig. She's like a pig? And he goes, yes. So she gets down, humiliates herself acting like a pig, and he goes, awesome, I love bacon, or some shit like that, and he slices her fucking throat just to be evil.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up.
I'm against it.
So me too. So Sai is like, that man is not human. So I'll join you for free. Let's go back to the mercenary town. Yeah. So we head down to the mercenary fort, and Victor and Flick are like, okay, what we're going to do is hold on, the Let's Play did a side quest. I didn't know there was a fucking side quest here. But he says, what we're going to do is we're going to form up into squads and set an ambush for when Luca's army comes through. We're going to attack them like we're a fucking Fire Emblem. And we're like, okay, cool. And Joey's like, okay, what should we call our company? And I said, the Book Club Company, of course. And he's like, that's fucking stupid and I hate that, but whatever, you can pick. And so so then the next day we get to go and do some Fire Emblem tactics battling, and it's really cool. We beat the shit out of the people and they leave. So then a little bit later they come back even stronger, and they beat the crap out of us the second time. And so we retreat into the mercenary fort to go and find Pilica, because she was still in there. We're like, we got to save her no matter what. So we get up there to like the war room where Victor normally is, and Luke is there about to fucking just kill Pilica. So we jump in to save her, and we get bitch slapped quickly. And Luca's like, the world only lets you be strong. You guys are weak. You can't even keep me from killing this little girl. And he's about to like kill her, and we can't do anything. And then a huge explosion happens, and he like falters a little bit. In runs Flick and Victor to grab the girl and grab us, and apparently they set off all of the gunpowder and put all the fire spears in the boiler in the basement to make it explode, so we can get the fuck out of there. So the base explodes, and we're like, what the fuck do we do now? And Pilica has retreated into herself and is no longer talking, and it's really fucking sad scene. So Joey's like, Victor said to regroup in Muse City, so that's where we're going to go. And we head off in that direction. And to get to Muse City, you have to cross that bridge in Toto. So as soon as you show up to Toto Village, Pilica runs off to the shrine, and we're like, what the fuck? And we follow her. And when Joey and Rio or Toby get back there, the light like glows and takes them to a different portion of the shrine, where a magical hot chick named Leknot shows up, and she says that
please share this is Leknot.
Yes. She's like, those of you who follow the path of fate, the heralds who summon the stars of destiny, go forward and attain your destiny. And we're like, whatever, let's do that. And
Leknot is also present and mysterious in Suikoden 1.
Yeah. She basically talks about the true runes, which are the Triforce of the Suikoden world. She says that there's 27 of them, and that the rune of beginning is right in here, and if we go touch it and do whatever, we'll be granted the power to alter fate, so that we can gather the stars of destiny. And we're like, okay, cool. And she does a little personality test, and you can choose to say, I don't want power, but that's a but thou must. You have to say, we need power so that we can stop Luca. And she's like, okay, cool. So we head back through the back of the shrine. Our rune is a shield, and Joey's is a sword, which is interesting. And we touch the runes, get our magical powers and stuff. And she says that they're both aspects of the rune of beginning, so that now we can go and write our own fate. We leave the shrine and everyone's like, what the fuck just happened? And we're like, I don't actually know. So let's just go to Muse City and we'll do the whole Destiny shit later. You then travel up a little bit. There's a small inn on the side of the road where you can save, and that's where we stopped for the week.
Yep. I will say my needing to stop is not like the most hard thing ever, so I'm not going to be leaving in literally 2 minutes.
Okay, cool.
I will say we did miss a scene which is probably important when Toby and Joey are being led to the scaffold. They're passing through the main town, and a carriage is going through the town, and the carriage stops, and like the woman inside is like, what's going on? And it turns out to be a Princess Julia, I believe her name was. And she talks with Toby for a bit, and nothing really important is said, I don't think, but you get the impression that she is, not like the person who is presumably her brother or something. You get the impression that she's not evil.
Oh, I also glossed over because I forgot. But when you first get to the shrine, Leknot probes your memories, and you go back and you see what actually happened in the opener where you saw them as kids, and you see the whole thing. And Toby speaks, but when it gets caught up to present day, he only speaks in the lines that you chose for him to speak, which is super duper cool. But you basically see how they joined the army and they were friends and stuff like that. But you see like an expanded version of it.
Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, it's super fucking cool. So let's listen to some cool ass music and then talk about our memorable moments. Maddy, you go first.
Yeah. I'll go first. And in the future, I'm not going to have to do this. It's just that I told someone I would have an important phone call with him today, and I said, I'm free all day. And then, of course, they didn't say, cool, I'm free now too, let's talk, until we had started podcasting, instead of the last 10 hours of my day. So I said, let's talk at 8:30. Anyway, I have just a few. I just stopped taking memorable moment screenshots because I had too many of them. There's so much. First of all, this game's got a not incredible localization. As far as like emotion and clarity goes, it's like pretty good. It's a little dry. It's a little like this game of this era without a huge budget. It ain't like post FF8 like Square level or anything like that. But it's also not like, it's not terrible. It's not FF Tactics or Xenogears. So it's like pretty medium quality, but it also has a lot of really funny typos and grammatical errors. But luckily, it's not like the rest of it. It's like, it's pretty good localization, though not amazing, plus some funny errors. Which again, so it's not like FFT where it's like incomprehensible. Anyway, some funny ones are, let's see. Victor, this will be your room for a while. It's small and not too comfortable, but you'll have to live with it since you're a prisoner. That's a fun one. Listen up. Go to the stock room and get 2 pairs of boots. With quotes around it. I liked that a lot personally. In addition, whenever you go to the item store, 2 things at the item store. First of all, you can buy, you can sell, you can quit. But there's also something called rare finds. Every item store has rare finds, which is items that there's only a certain number of, which is very cool. Might be like, oh, here's a cool helmet. We have
cooler. All of them in every shop everywhere changes every 40 minutes of in-game time.
Oh, I figured it was like every town was unique. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it'll be like, oh, this really good helmet that you can equip on all your party members. We only have one of them. or, oh, is this good potion? We have 2. It's pretty cool. Anyway, though, so that's a cool mechanic. But also in the menu, buy and sell are both all lowercase, and then rare finds is in camel case. It's quite funny. Just even in one menu, it's inconsistent. Other things, turns out that Sai, before we met Sai, I happened to go into a town where he's from. I think, unfortunately, I should have recorded context here. I think this was the town of Toto.
It's in Ryubei. He used to live in town, and now he lives outside of town.
Oh, okay, yeah. So when you're in Ryubei, I talked to a guy, and he goes, "Oh, Sai moved out. Are you here for Sai? He moved out a while ago, but people keep coming by looking for him," which is cute little foreshadowing. Tells you not just that this guy doesn't live here anymore and that this guy's a little bit annoyed about it, but also that this side character is he's a desired person, which I thought was neat. When you first meet Bolgan, he just says Bolgan. And that's all I've got. I'll listen to y'all for 1 or 2 seconds, and then I will have to peace out before we're done.
I want to point out in the localization errors, there was actually one quite spectacular one in the scene I mentioned earlier. Toby or maybe Joey asks who this person in the carriage is, and then the driver of the carriage says, "I'm Princess Gilia."
That's right. I forgot about that.
And I'm like, clearly, like, knowing a bit of Japanese, clearly the driver just said Princess Gilia is, and the localizer just, it wasn't clear on the spreadsheet or whatever who was talking. So they figured, oh, that must be Princess Gilia.
That really confused me.
Yeah, I was confused too. I was like, why isn't her portrait there? But then I realized what was happening. It was really funny.
Yeah, it could also be the escape characters that would say, like, bring up the character name or whatever was the wrong one, because when you are talking to Leknot, Joey says, "I don't care how I get the power as long as it gives me what I want. Please understand." And then Leknot, out of nowhere, butts in and says, "Sometimes power hurts people and fate plays with people's lives. But even know it's what I need right now." Which is the continuation of Joey's line, but Leknot says it for some reason. But,
yeah. It's like Maddy Grace said, it's not incomprehensible, but there are some spectacular errors in Suikoden 1 as well.
Yeah. Do you have any more, Bernard?
I'm just amazed by how many bespoke animations there are. They're all amazing. There are some amazing animations in Suikoden 1 as well, but it's like when you see one, it's a nice treat, whereas it's just a buffet in Suikoden 2.
Oh, yeah, just so those of y'all listening can even know what the hell we're talking about in this game, like, we haven't said what kind of game it is. When you're not in battle, it is a purely two-dimensional game. It's typical JRPG from SNES, tile-based backgrounds and sprites moving around. But given that it's PS1 and not SNES, it's like incredibly good. In combat, you're in a 3D environment, but there's sprites, and there's it's like Xenogears. It's got all these great like zooms and shit like that. So that's what the game looks like, by the way.
Yeah.
Speaking of bespoke animations, a couple standout amazing ones. Most of them have to do with Nanami. Her animations are fan-fucking-tastic.
Yes.
But when you first meet her, she glomps you, to use a word that I haven't said since 2006.
I thought of that word while playing and refrained to say it during my notes.
I didn't even think of the word during that scene.
But yeah, she tackles you on the ground. It's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And she's like shaking you back and forth, and it is spectacular. Then she continues as you're going. You're like, "Okay, well, we got to get out of here." You tried to leave, and she goes, "Wait, I forgot something." Grabs you by the hand and drags you backwards to go and show you something, and it's fantastic. But my absolute favorite one, because it's subtle as fuck, when you're talking to Pilica and she's like, "I have a secret," Joey and Rio both lean in like 3 pixels to get closer to her for the secret. It's so freaking good.
They didn't need to do that. They didn't need to. Incredible.
They wasted some sprite artists like 4 hours of their day to just move them over a couple pixels, and it was worth it. It was so good. Another good one is during the flashback when you're all kids. I don't remember the context because I only took a screenshot because I figured that would be enough, and it was not. But Nanami is doing something and she's like, "Blech, it's yucky, I'm a tomboy, I can't do it," whatever it is, and she like squirms her whole body, and it's fan-fucking-tastic. It's so good. All
right. I hate to dip without hearing our new our guests MMs, but I am going to dip. I will see everyone next week. Also, remember, if you just love hearing my voice specifically for some reason, we are going to be resuming FF. Our long cast of FF13 soon. So, toodaloo, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
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 All right. Does anyone have some shorter ones before I go into my hacks?
I also want to say that it's been really interesting seeing how this game expands on Suikoden 1 and the animations, the graphics in general. You get to recruit characters way, way quicker in Suikoden 2. In Suikoden 1, there's like a good 3 or 5 hours of gameplay before you actually get a home base and can start recruiting people. And like the only way that Suikoden 2 appears to not be a huge improvement is that I like the music in Suikoden 1 more so far.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, maybe Suikoden 2 is hiding its bangers.
Maybe so.
Yeah, for me, it's just the characters themselves already have a lot of personality. I find having like switching out your party or like adding a few different ones, like Millie, low-key, the way she hits is like she can hit multiple enemies, you never know. And so you're just kind of learning with the game, which I kind of like, because you wouldn't even assume to put anybody in your party or where to position them. But I really like that. And I really like, there's a woman in, I think it's Ryubei, who tells you to shut up, and there's no context. And I was just like, oh, well, I mean, not everyone's nice. I guess that's true to life. But for the most part, it's exploring is really fun. Open world, sort of your hacks and things to that, like leads into that. But I really like all the side characters so far. All of them feel really fun. Even Kennison and his wolf pal, which I don't remember the wolf's name.
Shiro.
Super Shiro. Just so fun in battle. Just to see their own animations and like how they like can do a combo attack. It's really fun.
Mm-hmm. So I did realize I forgot one that's very important because it's very good. But after Joey gets captured with you, the first thing he says after you sit down is he's like, Rio, do you want my carrots? And it's such a good little scene. I love it. But yeah, the hacksaws. So if you continue up past Mew City while you're going and exploring earlier before all the towns get burnt, you can go up to the gate and the guards are like, hey, you can't come to the North Continent. You have to go do a JRPG first. But making video games is hard. So they accidentally made the gate a box in the code. So you can just push the gate out of the way and make your way into a like mid or late game area. And if you get lucky...
We call this gate skip.
Yes, this is gate skip. If you get lucky and don't die, you can go pick up these two characters named Futch and Murphy, who are returning characters from Suikoden 1. And when you pick them up...
Also sounds like a good buddy comedy.
Futch and Murphy. But if you pick them up, you then can survive all the random battles. and gain some like 30 levels really, really quickly, you can then do what Anthony did and leave and go continue the game. Or you can do what I did and beat yourself over the head with how the fuck does this game work and finally understand runes and shit so that you can then finish their side quest so they join your party forever and face this big ass harpy at the end. So their side quest basically is they used to be dragoons, like in the We Rode Dragons sort of way, and their dragon died. So they're just kind of not doing anything, kind of looking out for new dragons, etc. And this boy in town is like, oh, there's a dragon right over there. I heard it. I'm gonna go get it. And he leaves, and we're like, what the fuck? Why did you leave? So they join your party. You go to catch them, and you fight this big ass harpy, and he's like, no, it was, I swear it was a dragon. It wasn't this harpy thing. I heard a dragon screech, not a harpy. And they're like, we're professional dragon people. We know there wouldn't be dragons here. And he's like, no, it was at the top of the mountain. I promise. So you go up to the top of the mountain, and sure enough, you find a dragon egg, and it hatches and imprints onto Futch, who is very sad about his dragon. And it's a very emotional scene because Murphy is kind of like a father figure for him, and it plays out really nicely. We probably will get to it later. We can go in more in depth there, but it was such a cool little reward for like the game is about 3 hours worth. I've been playing for 12 hours. Of most of it just trying to beat this fucking harpy. So it was a lot of fun, and the rest of the game will be hella easy for me because I'm now level 40, and I think you're supposed to be level 7 right now, so that'll be fun. But I had a whole lot of fun breaking the game in half because you can just push the gate out of the way. It's GDQ week. We do skips.
Well, and part of it too is you can go to a town that's nearby that has such good equipment you can just take with you, and then no harm, no foul. Nothing changes. Like, nothing's broken yet. Knock on wood. And so what I did was I also leveled up every character I've had. So now I have 9 characters who are level 35. Before doing sort of because I didn't finish like where we were supposed to be. So I'm wondering if when I play the fortress sort of protect the automatic loss, I wonder how that's going to be if I don't actually lose.
Yeah, I didn't lose. I beat the shit out of him, and he's like, oh wow, you've gotten pretty strong, and then I lose in a cutscene.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. But one thing that I didn't do, and now I'm real sad, and I hope that I can do it later, is Puss in Boots can join your party. His name is Muku Muku, and if you go to this tree in your hometown and you talk to it 3 times, for some reason, out pops Muku Muku, and he joins your party with literally 0 fanfare. He's not even a talking character, but he's one of the stars of Destiny, and he's Puss in Boots, and he's adorable, and I'm mad that I don't get him.
Yeah, this happened in the long play, like, really early on, and I was like, what the fuck? Why are they bouncing against this tree? What is that? It's in the party, I guess?
Yeah. And part of the game, too, it's like you can't explore. So normal RPG, you explore like a cabinet, right? Or, desk table. And it just goes desk or cabinet. It'll tell you what it is, but it won't let you grab items. So you don't think you can interact with things. But when you're getting your sister, one of the things you can do is you go to that center of the house. You can get a vase that's really expensive so you can sell it later. Or for potentially just extra bonus money. Just like randomly clicking in the center of the room. There's just a large vase, and you see it, and you just go like, I'm going to click on this vase. And then she goes, you want this vase? You can have it. Here you go. And it's like $5,000. And you're just like, wow, $5,000. So great. I wouldn't assume. It doesn't look anything.
Yeah, this game has a lot of density to it, which is awesome.
It also has a lot of destiny to it.
It's true. But coming fresh off of Trails in the Sky, it's great to play another not nearly as dense, but still very dense game.
A reasonably dense game.
Yeah, it's going to be weird next time we play a fucking Dragon Quest or something. Not that Dragon Quest is bad, but its storylines are very straightforward and not nearly as dense as this is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. One final thing that I forgot, and I saw it when I was following along in the notes. When you get saved by Victor and Flick, Joey's like, "What are you doing here?" And Victor's like, "You were my prisoners. I can't let you die that easy." And Flick, like as an aside, is like, "This guy's just really nosy. He just wanted to know what was going on." And it's great. Love that shit. But yeah, this game rules. Yeah, so next week we will be playing up until we establish and defend our headquarters castle. It will be attacked shortly after we get some help from Shu the strategist. I don't know who that is. We're kind of shooting in the dark. Vague stopping spot. We'll get if I figure out a better one by the time I edit this, I will put it in the show notes of exactly where we're stopping. But it's approximately 3 more hours of game, and then we will come back next week. If you like what you heard today, you can check us out on the web at www.rpgbook.club, where all of your donations help us keep the lights on and afford playing super awesome games like this. I would love to say that we all are playing on a physical copy, but those are $200 a pop, so we're all playing digitally, legally, allegedly. And so you can donate, help us offset game costs and stuff like that. Everyone who donates gets a month exclusivity period to the Book Club no Kiseki game podcast, where we recently finished the 2nd chapter, and we'll be starting Trails in the Sky the 3rd very shortly. So come and check us out for that. I think that's everything right now. But for RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Allman.
I'm David Bernard Halk.
Yeah.
Grace Rubin.
And then I'm guest host Anthony Lerma. Nice to meet you all.
Awesome. Toodaloo, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
My friend Scotty, who loves the shit out of Suikoden, like first person I've known to like even love Suikoden 4 type thing.
Ooh, that's a rough one. That's where I stopped because I couldn't play it.
Yeah, apparently Suikoden 5 is fantastic and no one played it.
Oh, really? That's kind of now I have to try it.
Yeah, me and Bernard were making a joke rematch of this one, and it'll be we try to play the second game in this series, but then by the time the 4th game rolled around, it was really bad and no one liked it. So now we're going to play the masterpiece fifth versions that nobody played: Wild Arms 5 versus Suikoden 5.
You were making that joke. I was just present.
Yeah.
As long as credit's due. Just saying.
Yeah. I meant to say we were talking and I said, but words are very hard to say.
Yes.
It's really yes.
Luckily, it's not like we have to record ourselves talking for over an hour every week.